So in the U.S. House of Representatives, they're trying to have the vote on Jeffrey Epstein right now. This is on motion to suspend the rules and pass the resolution. So what's actually happening here is we'll see, and it's pretty impressive so far how many are voting which way. You probably don't want to be on record as voting to not release information about a pedophile and what he's done to people, and especially if there's extremely powerful people behind this, and that's what's going on with this Epstein case. Okay, so here, the vote so far, 68 yay, 68 nay, 136. It's going to tick up because we have 6 minutes and 36 remaining in this. Okay, so here's the background to what's happening here. Jeffrey Epstein, if you don't know, was a convicted sex offender. What he did was he earned lots of money, and how he earned his money is really interesting. I'll explain that. And then he met with the rich and powerful, and then the rich and powerful would kind of bring them into this world where they could abuse women in a now when I say women, I also mean underage women, girls, and that's really a lot of what was going on here. So pedophile would be an appropriate, or pedophile pimp would be more an appropriate explanation for what happened. Now I'm trying to explain the context and the background here. So Epstein died in prison in 2019, I believe. He went to prison. Now in 2008, I want to say, it seems like he was somehow working with the FBI or something in order to sting other people or something. So he kind of got looks like he got a pass for some time. And now the files that they have on him, they want to release to the press. In fact, folks like Kash Patel and others with it prominent within the Republican Party made quite a bit of a name saying, hey, release the files. Ironically, MAGA is some of the most virulent defenders of this kind of thing, as far as like the MAGA base. I don't mean the MAGA representatives, but like, hey, look, this is crazy. You need to release the files. They're convinced that Trump didn't do anything wrong. Whether he did or didn't, I don't know. Possibly, it's certainly a possibility. Who else is involved in this? We just don't know. And so I'm trying to stay as close to a fact set that we know rather than speculate. But Trump seemed to not want to have these files released for a good period of time. He's fought against this. Now, they don't have to do this the way that they're doing this. Trump could have unilaterally just released the files. So why we're going through all of this, or it seems suspect that we're going through all of this rigmarole here, because he didn't do what he could have done. And they campaigned on this to some degree. So it's kind of strange. Now, what will happen next? Let's say that there is, and it's looking like it's going to be pretty good, a solid majority. Right now, there's no nays and only yays. So it looks like there'll be a solid majority. If it passes, then it goes to the House, and if it goes from the Senate to the House, and then it goes from the Senate after that passes over to the president's desk for him to sign it, and we'll see how that all plays out. Now, it's looking like it's going to be a very solid majority here. And this is good, because if you have a veto-proof majority, the Congress can override the president if the president, for whatever reason, decided not to sign it. I don't foresee that happening, but I haven't foreseen other things as well. If you get a 2/3 majority in the House and a 2/3 majority in the Senate, they can override whatever the president wanted to do or didn't want to do. So that's where we are now. The legacy of Epstein is pretty tragic. What he did was abuse people all the way around in order to profit and in order to have this kind of weird prostitution island kind of thing. So he would invite the rich and powerful to come meet with him and then introduce them to this prostitution of underage girls. And it looks like then he would also record them. Like, unbeknownst to them, he'd record them, and now he'd have blackmail on him, on those people. And the list includes, theoretically, people like Trump, theoretically, people like Bill Clinton, theoretically, and I say theoretically because we don't really know exactly who was doing what, where, whatever. But as far as I have been able to detect, these people were on the list. Larry Summers, Clinton's former president of Harvard and Clinton's Secretary of the Treasury, Bill Gates, and so on and so forth. It's a list of all the who's who. Like if you're a conspiracy theorist type on the left, if you're a conspiracy theorist, like watch a Hallmark movie and you'll see that the bad person was always the businessman because, you know, she's dating a businessman and he's evil, but the guy that she should have been with is right under his nose and he's a woodworker who, you know, works on the orphanage on the weekends or at the pet shelter, and because business is bad. If you're on the right, they have a similar kind of the elite is evil kind of theory. The more MAGA or America First you are, there's an elite is evil, and that means deep state. So either way, the elite 1%, that sort of thing is what they're like targeting here. Okay, and so it looks like Epstein was getting this dirt on these. Wow, this is amazing. I've never seen a vote like this except with all yays and no nays, except for like it's Thelma Johnson's 100th birthday and we want to wish her a happy birthday. I mean, other than something like that, I've almost never seen this kind of majority, like super majority. And nobody wants to be on record again as being for, you know, I'm not going to release a potential pedophiles. Well, he is a pedophile. We know that. But the records about what other people might be potentially involved in. I'm trying to phrase it correctly. So that's where we are with this bit with Epstein. It looks like this is going to pass wildly, and that'll send a message to the Senate as well to all get on board. So that's a very positive thing. Now, how will it affect Trump? I have no idea, but Trump seemed not to want it to come out. So I tried to not speculate, but only to present facts. So you can draw your own conclusions about this. My guess is that from Trump's statements that he will go all scorched earth and focus all of the attention as much as possible on, say, Bill Clinton or whoever else might be involved in any way, shape, or form. So that would be my guess. Okay, with 10 seconds left, there are no nays. There are 294 yays so far. I can't believe that 135 have not yet voted. That is crazy to me. It'll be interesting to see how many Democrats or Republicans. So 301 have voted yay to 0 no's. 132 or 131. That's pretty remarkable that there's not. They're recording the last few right now, even though the time is up. 306. Okay, so nobody voted against this. Again, it is going to be the kind of thing that could be a political bomb in the United States. But now it'll go over to the Senate, and from the Senate, it'll go up to the president's desk. And if it's a supermajority from the Senate, then it will definitely require everything to come out. But I want to again note, Trump could have unilaterally released this. I mean, like, he has the authority to release this, and that he didn't seems like, why don't you want to? I mean, if you're being besmirched with this and your name is on the line, why wouldn't you want to have that on the record that I was opposed to I was opposed to letting this stay in the dark. I wanted to let this. You'd want to let it out. Okay. I don't know why with time remaining, it's still ticking down. Maybe they're just still tallying or whatever. But yeah, at least 335 have signed on. There's one nay, one Democrat nay. Wow. I did not see that coming. I thought it was going to be unanimous. That's really interesting. I'll be interested to see what the final is. But that's the background with Jeffrey Epstein. It's going to likely be the big story in the United States, overwhelming everything else, including Ukraine and Venezuela and potentially Taiwan, if anything were to go over or go off there or whatever over the next however many months, maybe even years. We don't know. All right, that's the backstory here. You saw the vote in real time, 350 to 80, well, 352 to 80, and with one nay. That's amazing. That guy he's certainly going to make the news by being the one nay. All right. I hope that helps you and provides some context, but it's off to the Senate after this. Thank you for your time, the likes, the shares, and the subscribes. And I hope that helped you understand. Thank you for being the kind of person who cares.